Hi there everyone, thanks to my new subscribers and to my old subscribers. Tonight I'm going to do the truth about his feelings picker card. You choose a number, 1 or 2, and the timestamps are in the description box below. Of course, if this reading resonates, please like, share, subscribe and comment. If you would like a personal reading, my details are in the description box also, with a link to my website and to my Fiverr account. My website is a PayPal service and my Fiverr account has a few more options for readings if you'd like to take a look. You can just send me an email with your inquiry, or you can send the funds with a message. That's usually the way things are done on YouTube. Okay, so how does he oh no, we did that the other night. It's the truth about his feelings picker card. What is the truth of his feelings towards my channel viewer? What is the truth of his feelings towards my channel viewer? Might just turn on the light. It's better. What is the truth of his feelings towards my channel viewer? What is the truth of his feelings towards my channel viewer? Cards always pick up the gist of what I'm asking. Looks like I'll have to raise this. Okay. It's better, isn't it? Okay. I have creation upright, divinity in reverse, ritual in reverse, the shadow upright, fortune in reverse, and peacemaking upright. So I'm really getting the impression that your person has left a karmic in the past just recently. He's left a few people presently as well, and he's going to lose somebody else into the future. I feel there's something that's come to light, actually. It was a beautiful love affair in the past. He does feel very protective of you. I get the impression here you made him supremely happy and he wanted to stabilize a love affair with you, but the challenge was that you seem to disappear on him. Plus he's had interferences from other women. A brunette lady and somebody with more auburn colour hair, if you can identify with that. With one of the ladies, their relationship was too fresh and she wasn't very spiritual. And I feel that your person is supremely spiritual, like we're talking possibly devout. He's possibly devout. And he's really interested in Adam and Eve and the creation of life. That's something he really takes an interest in. So it didn't suit him, and I get the impression the other lady was into bad juju and he found out about it. So he has liked these women. There was maybe a type of love there or sweetness from their side, but they didn't make him half as happy as you made him. And I feel in his energy, it's so protective now. Like it's like he's come to a realization and he's gone back to hold you in his energy, so, and protect you and to love you. So whatever happened with these other two wasn't great. but they were both very fresh relationships anyway, and they were, I don't know, devotionless. One was loveless. Sweet, could convey a love, could convey a sweetness, could convey a fun, but they didn't hold strict spiritual principles, and your fellow does. And it really conflicted, with his devotion to God, basically. So they were chucked. And the brunette lady's just being chucked presently, and I think the one with more auburn hair, as you can see in the picture, is going to be chucked into the future. So I feel he's realised that this partner in his past brought out his shadow side, and he's not comfortable with it. She was a really greedy woman, actually. Very stalkerish. And I feel you have a problem with a stalkerish woman, but she's fading into black now, She spent all her money pursuing you, I feel, in whatever that manner that was, whether online or out of interest, or, I often say these things can be read on scale, so it can be just a person that takes an interest in you over a long period of time and becomes annoying. The other thing, and then it, can build from there, I guess, but it's saying that a lot of money's been spent by this woman just taking an interest in you and pursuing you. So it's going to get to the point where there's a breakage in that association, because I don't think she can carry on doing what she's doing. And she takes a real interest in your lovers. So of course, when I talk about this sort of thing, it kind of gets pushed into the category of envy. There's something envious about this woman towards you and your love affairs and your lovers, and this is just another occasion where she's been envious of you, and it's the same with these two. But I feel you're independent of these two. They seem to be just bad girls who can come across as quite happy and fun. Or one's very quiet, but she's bitchy. Plus, I feel that this man is ambitious. And these women have problems in their life. I feel like one has career problems, and the other one has breakup issues, or she's always arguing with people. She's got a very sharp mouth, or a cutting mouth, and she's always having a go at someone and starting fights, I feel. And he always has to cool this lady down, and he's not really interested in doing that anymore. He wants a passionate relationship which has value, has worth to him on an emotional plane, and I really feel that these other women that have been in his life don't offer anything. There is the opportunity, I know you're separated, but there is the opportunity to put down your swords, because I really feel that sometimes you cut this man off on an emotional plane or on a physical plane, depending on whether this is a soul relationship or a physical relationship. But you let bygones be bygones into the future. You really accept what is. And I feel that even though it's very important to you both to keep true to one another and to love one another and protect one another on whatever plane that exists, ultimately the interference in this connection is the separation. But there is going to be devotion between you. There is going to be more talk between you into the future, because I feel like you really have found somebody that you can have an equal discussion with, and it's something that you feel has been missing from your life. But he feels presently that his divine love has been spent as well in the present. And because he has it in his mind that his divine love has been spent, I feel that he would like to very peacefully end his associations with women that are no good for him, because his true happiness is in his past with you. It's not with these women. But it's like a light bulb went off in his head, because he was carrying on with other women. So he'd like to remain devoted to you even though you are apart, and even though you don't see much growth or prosperity in this connection for whatever reason. Could be the separation has made you think over things, and it shows very clearly that is the case. Because there's something in you which says, where's the loyalty? Where's the show of loyalty? Where's the love? Where's the sweetness? Where's the devotion on a physical plane? Where's the practicality in this arrangement? That's what you say to yourself. And you really feel that your time is also misspent on this person. But I feel that you are at a good point, because you've accepted something about the situation and you're trusting in the divine, and so is he. So there will be devotion between you into the future. You will get your happiness back. You will get your togetherness back. Because there's no prosperity in the pair of you being apart. That's what it says very clearly in these cards. So I really feel that you are the power. Because you have a stronghold. It's like without his perfect pairing, he feels weaker. That's what these cards say. So he's going to maintain his devotion to you even though you are apart. And I feel that's what's instigated his decision to get rid of these women in his life. He's just decided, stuff it. I know who I want to be with. I may not ever see this person or be with this person on a physical plane, but until I sort out my misfortune, until I've sought out what it is I want from this connection, I'm going to stay true to it. So that's the present energy. And I feel that's a very courageous energy and a faithful one. Because he doesn't owe you anything in these cards. You understood you loved one another. You made one another happy. But there's nothing concrete enough to move it forward at the time. And you both know that. So I feel that if you are apart, all you need is him to declare a loyalty or a devotion to you, so that he isn't falling into the trap of seeing women that aren't good for him. And that's what he's done. Because he's a smart guy. And I feel whatever emotional influence these women tried to apply into the situation or impose on him wasn't strong enough. Because he's not emotional, he's intellectual. And he can think on over both scenarios, he can think on both planes. And because he's a guy, logic always wins. And it wasn't logical for him to see these other women anymore. So they've underestimated him. Because I feel these two just expect things from their man. It's like, or they're presumptuous, you know, like they waltz on in and they expect to have the world. Or they waltz on in and they expect to have their own way. But they didn't get their own way. And I think that was his point. Because he wants to make it clear that he's the man. And he will always be the man. He makes the decisions. And his decision is that they aren't good enough for him on an emotional plane or on a physical one, but that you are. And if separation is the consequence, then he'll take that consequence. Because he wants you on an emotional plane at the very least. At the very least. And he's going to keep it that way. Okay, so that was deck 1. If this reading resonated, please like, share, subscribe and comment. If you would like a personal reading, my details are in the description box below with a link to my website and to my Fiverr account. My website is a PayPal service. You can either send me the funds with a message or you can email me an inquiry and I'll get back to you. The other account is a service facility. It's called Fiverr and you need your Google details to log in. See you next time. This is deck 2. It's called The Truth About His Feelings. Pick a card. Please give me some cards on the truth about his feelings towards my channel viewer. Please give me some cards on the truth about his feelings towards my channel viewer. Games, blood, secrecy, ecstasy, pilgrimage, synergy. There we go. See better now. Oh. I really get the impression from these cards that you've been playing hard to get and he's felt the effects of that. He feels a spiritual bond with you, and I feel this is a past life connection. he was sleeping around quite a bit in his past. And there could be a couple of women around him. But he feels it was all for fun. Presently, he's being very grounded about the pair of you, and he's looking at the spiritual connection with quite a bit of seriousness. He's trying to figure out how that spiritual connection could affect him on a spiritual plane if he was to miss the opportunity or skip it. He really is focused on it, and he's taking a very practical approach to his thoughts on the matter, because he knows that you have something good going. He thought you had fun together in the past. He thought you must have taken quite a move against him in the past. I feel that it was a game of hard to get on your part, and it really turned him on, basically. He thought he often reflects how he feels that your move was as hot as fuck. And then he gets back to business, because I feel he's working quite hard. And he's getting out and about as well. And he feels ashamed of himself. This is a guy that's very dynamic, naturally very dynamic. Possibly could be high achieving. But something's gone wrong with his career in the past, and I think we've seen this in a few readings. You know, he rolled the dice, and then it was like he played Russian roulette, and he rolled the dice, and the dice didn't come up trumps. That's the strong impression I get. So he's in a situation, but it's getting better for him. He's really reflecting on the love, the devotion, the loyalty. He reflects on wanting a cycle life with you. He reflects on how your relationship is very sweet, very pure. And there's something about your relationship that reminds him of when he was a younger man, and he really likes that feeling. But he also feels that there are serious consequences to your connection, because he knows now that it's a spiritual one, and he knows he has to take that seriously. And I feel that you often find him, you will often catch him looking quite guilty, actually. And I feel quite possibly there's this kind of indicates a third party mixture, but it also indicates a man that is very much on his own in life. So if you know him to have a woman, it's not the only woman in his life. He also has a girlfriend on the side. So it's like, I don't know what you could call him. A falsie. I don't know. That's what you possibly could call him in terms of his current arrangement, because I feel the woman that's in his life, if he has a lady, if he's committed, you know him to be committed, is very devoted to him. Doesn't say much about the relationship. And basically she squeezes every last drop of life out of him in some respect. But that relationship is reaching its autumn stages for him, and she still thinks it's fresh and lovely. So I don't know what act he's pulling, but it seems to me like he's living a lie if he's in a commitment. And of course, that's a big no-no, especially on a spiritual plane. So he's looking upon her as a karmic now, where there was some I feel this relationship, I can see this works on two planes. He could have like a career issue where he rolled the dice, and he can have a personal issue where he rolled the dice. And just currently it's not coming up trumps for him. He thought it was a devoted arrangement. He thought it was loving. He thought it was practical. He was working off his practicality in moving this thing forward, but he's now understanding the risk that he took in taking on board a karmic. So I really get the impression that he's thinking over the fact that he didn't really know the person that he's with. And even though she's showing signs of a lot of devotion to him and love and freshness, I don't think he feels the same way. So I feel that if you know your person to be in a commitment, he's faking it. It's just an illusion. They could have a child in the mix. There could be a child in the mix, and that complicates the situation again, because it's like he rolled the dice, got involved with a karmic, wanted something, some kind of fortune or prosperity out of the connection, but didn't give it enough consideration on a spiritual level. And of course, I talk about this all the time, that's very serious. You always have to consider those things, even though it can be quite hurtful to you. But if you really feel a person's not good for you, you shouldn't go in for them. And what it's saying is that this person showed strength in their devotion, strength in their love, strength in their happiness towards this person. But it was really just a means to an end for her. She's happy, this woman's happy to fake it until she makes it. And the funny thing is that they're total opposites in character. They don't mesh well at all. And I feel this is the type of connection which can blow up easily. Like they'll go along and they'll get along well, and everybody around them will think it's the perfect relationship, but behind closed doors it is on. And now there's a child in the mix because he was being practical about the association and said to himself, oh, well, I've got to have a kid, blah, blah, blah. I've got this money, I've got this stability. Now I have to find a wife, or now I have to find a partner. Now I have to have a family. Very practical mindset. And also, he based it on his... he justified it by saying to himself, I always have my girlfriend on the side. If this thing isn't too great, I've always got her. But what he didn't realize is that the partner or the commitment partner is about to come up behind her like a tiger. And then once this woman, even though she seems very upright, but she is very much karmic, she is potentially a liar. I feel she wanted to commit to somebody because she was she feared she was in the autumn stages of her career, and this is a person that just likes to keep achieving or give people the perception that she's achieving in life. She's a real keeping up with the Joneses type person. So, and she plays the game well. She seems quite upright. But of course, with the karmic card next to her, there's a question over that appearance. Big question. Because I feel it's just an illusion that she sells. If you know your person to be in a commitment. But if not, this is funny because I feel that he's in a bit of an illusional or delusional state over you. He seems to think that he can recover this with you. He can do what he likes. He can roll that dice. He can throw it. He can have his girlfriend on the side. He can have his partner or his commitment partner and still have a chance with you. He really needs to live life in that dream that he has a chance with you into the future, that you could grow something together. Like you're not his spare tire, you know? And his commitments partner's still there into the future. What's going to happen if he's relying on his girlfriend or having girlfriends on the side in some respect, and the wife takes away the privilege, or the commitment partner takes away the privilege, and what happens then? Because that was his justification, and that's a superficial justification. That's not a soulful justification. I feel that he then turns to you. That's why he's ashamed of himself. He's realized that his actions have had consequences in terms of his love life, in terms of his personal life, because he didn't express himself to the one he wanted. And he's very ashamed of himself. If they have a kid or something, like it shows, well, that will be the thing that keeps it together into the future by the looks of it. But the commitment partner will become more committed to the kid, I feel, and not to him. But also it shows there's still the devotion and loyalty towards you on his side. This is why I'm saying he's in a delusion. He's a very grounded man. He obviously understands something about spirituality because he's considering the karmic connection very seriously with his current partner. But quite honestly, where does he think he has a hope in hell if he's complicated the matter so much? That's why I'm saying he's in a little bit of a dream state. And I feel you could be his inspiration. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from being his inspiration. But I feel that you're a person who does not want trouble. Who does not want trouble from the ex. Who is growing their own success. Who's getting their energy back. And I really feel that you're going to leave this to the universal energies completely. Because she's going to hold on. She's really going to hold on to this guy, I feel. You know, maybe he's in a little bit of a male society. That's what these cards kind of tell me. Because that's like lunacy, really, isn't it? It has here hierarchy on the bottom of the deck, so I feel that your person is in a type of hierarchy, and you know, I feel that if they've been indoctrinated into a hierarchy and they act the way they act for whatever the reason that is, then things become difficult because their moral side and their ethical side conflicts with their the expectations of the hierarchy, and that's a really difficult thing. So I'm not sure what you're going to do in this situation, because he will insist upon staying loyal to you and devoted to you into the future. He will insist that he stays with you on a spiritual level. I'm just not sure he can make it in the physical because of all these conflicting factors. Okay, so that was deck 2. If this reading resonated, please like, share, subscribe and comment. If you would like a personal reading, my details are in the description box below with a link to my website and my Fiverr account. My website is a PayPal service, and my Fiverr account has a few more options for readings if you'd like to take a look. See you next time.